One of the major reasons for the success or the failure of a business is the presence of financial discipline or the lack of it. When I speak to successful entrepreneurs as well as not so successful entrepreneurs, I realize that those who have not been successful, many of them have not exercised due financial discipline. Right from day one of starting their respective businesses, they have been lackadaisical in terms of the right approach to managing finances, and they have not taken finances more seriously. Of course, they are focused on revenue, however, not much in terms of profitability or the unit economics on which they could have actually paid a lot more attention. Now, when it comes to business, one thing you realize, irrespective of however good your product or solution is, if you don't manage your finances properly, you definitely would get into trouble sooner or later. So, every entrepreneur, be it at the early stage of his or her business or possibly in an advanced stage, has to realize that there is nothing more important than managing finances. You don't need to get into too much of complexity. However, the fact is, you have to keep a very strong control, an eye for detail on what is coming in and what is going out. Many failed businesses, I can observe that the entrepreneurs unfortunately did not keep tab on what is coming into the organization and even more on what is going out. So even if they have kept tabs on the revenue, unfortunately, they would have not kept a lot of control on the costs. And because of that, they had a very high burn rate, and sooner or later, the runway that they had was exhausted. And because of which they had to liquidate or shut down their businesses. So this is a very sad situation, and many a times this could be avoided. I've also seen organizations or businesses where everything was going fine. The entrepreneur was good, the product or solution is also good. However, just because of one issue, in spite of the entrepreneur being very strong in sales and various other elements in terms of business, however, because that person was lacking in one front, that is financial discipline or effective financial management, unfortunately, the entrepreneur as well as the business both had a price to pay. So, this is something which can definitely be managed and tried to control right from the very early stage of the business. Also, my suggestion to entrepreneurs who do not have too much of knowledge in terms of finance or are not experts, of course, you don't need to be an expert. However, there are entrepreneurs who may not be that comfortable. So always have someone within your team who's strong in managing finances. So in case you cannot do it due to whatever reason, you will need to ensure that someone within your team, he or she can manage it well on your behalf, because there's nothing which can beat financial discipline. Also, when it comes to managing finances and exercising due discipline pertaining to the business right from the early stage, every entrepreneur should very clearly demarcate the personal account from the business account. So I also observe entrepreneurs who have this particular tendency to mix personal with business. This should be avoided. This can actually cause issues later on. So if you don't exercise financial discipline from day one, even if you say to yourself that you would exercise discipline over a period of time, that doesn't happen. So if you're not disciplined in a certain element of the business right from day one, the unfortunate reality is the possibility of you getting disciplined is very less. So whatever you need to do for an entrepreneur who's planning to start out or has just started out, please ensure that you're disciplined from the financial perspective right from day one. So do not merge or mix personal account with the business account. So let it be two separate elements. Your business account should only take care of your business accruals or income and expenses. Nothing beyond that. So that's going to be extremely vital. Also understand at the time, in case you want to raise capital or for any other reason you are looking out for a funding, only if your books of accounts are clean, only then can you secure funding. So it plays a very vital role in an investor actually investing in you, because all your financial statements would be evaluated at that particular time, especially if it's a big round of funding or it's a top marquee investor who is wanting or requiring to invest in your business. So ensure that you have a very clean books of accounts. That's going to be extremely vital. In addition to that, every entrepreneur should ensure that whatever your product or solution is, ensure that you have arrived at the right pricing, not too low, not too high. So the right price for your product or solution, that's going to be extremely important. Then the next point is you can actually focus on revenue. However, more important than that, you'll need to focus on profitability. So many of us would have observed over the last few years what organizations who just focus on growth and revenue, what situation that they have entered into. And organizations which have focused on profit, those organizations have at least sailed through without getting into the issue of shutting down their businesses. So in addition to focus on revenue, please ensure that you focus on profitability. Also, pertaining to your operating expenses, ensure that that is managed well. So there can never be a situation when your costs outweigh your income. That can happen for a certain period of time, but that can't happen indefinitely. So always ensure that what is coming into your business is much greater than what is going out. Your operating expenses have to be managed well. In case you don't manage to do that, then there are going to be very difficult days for you in the future. In addition to these elements, please keep a very close eye on the key 3 financial statements. The first is the profit and loss account. On a regular basis, you will need to analyze your organization's profit and loss account or income statement. That is going to be extremely important. In addition to that, the balance sheet, which gives you an overall perspective beyond the income. It also gives an idea pertaining to shareholding, your assets, liabilities, and other points. So understanding and analyzing your balance sheet, company or organization's balance sheet or business's balance sheet is going to be extremely important. And last, however, not least, also have a very close eye on your cash flow statement. So cash flow is going to be extremely vital for any organization. So understanding how much cash is coming into the business and how much cash is going out, that's going to be extremely important. In case you're someone who is having an eye for finance or you have an accounting or finance background, also working on certain liquidity ratios, efficiency ratios, all that is going to be important. It's good for you to utilize the data sets that you have to arrive at certain ratios in order to understand the health of your business. To ensure that your business is in good health, there is nothing that can beat financial discipline. Just like good exercise and an excellent diet can impact our health positively, the same way financial discipline can impact the health of an organization or business favorably. So please ensure you keep very close eye as an entrepreneur or as a business person on the financial health of your organization. Always ensure that as much as possible there is a focus on profit. Be clear on elements such as unit economics, the cash flow and income as well as expenditure. All the very best. Thanks for your time.